I'm Nick Bayhash. I wrote, directed, and starred in Five Dates as the character Seth.
And I am Ted English. I played the character Paul in Five Dates.
Mm-hmm.
It was good times.
Was it?
You alright? Alright, so Nick and I decided to make a video just because since we made the film Five Dates, we've been getting a lot of letters, Facebook messages, tweets, emails, things like that from fans, and we really have appreciated those a lot, the support. But we thought it might be good, just because the communication has been a little overwhelming, to make a video to address some of the main questions that people have been asking us.
It's being considered a cult classic, like on the web.
Some people have been watching it like over and over again. And,
a lot of times.
But probably the question we get most from people who have watched the film, particularly people who have watched it over and over, and seemed obsessed about it, is what is this film about? Like, what is it? What does it mean exactly?
What is the story?
What is the story?
Two people, Seth and Meredith, played by me, and Amanda Lund, which we'll but we'll discuss later. They randomly find each other and go on 5 dates, and we follow this relationship kind of by jumping around in it, kind of like a 500 Days of Summer style, and then, of course, there's a big romantic, climactic ending.
Yeah, so I mean, the story is something that's meant to kind of be a representation of a very passionate and young relationship, and one in which kind of there's two people connecting, but there's some things that seem a bit off, maybe a bit of trust issues or communication issues, and something that I think a lot of people can relate to if you've ever been in a serious relationship or just processed through things like that.
So I wrote the film to kind of make myself with friends and family and places, locations that I knew, so it would be kind of the cheapest way and maybe the easiest way to make a first film. So everyone on the crew and cast, other than Meredith, the co-star Amanda Lund, I knew. So that's the strategy I went with when I wrote it. The budget for the movie was $3,000, so ridiculously cheap, and we spent a week shooting it. The movie was shot on a Canon 5D Mark II, a picture camera, but it shoots amazing video, and we had 2 of those going on every scene. The day-to-day schedule of how we did it for, so cheap and so short was kind of just read through the scenes we were shooting the next day, the night before, and run through it with the actual kind of cameras going, and then do like 1 or 2 takes, and it was kind of that simple.
So it's almost like the script itself formed a base for the ideas, but there was a lot of deviation. It was kind of just like go with whatever.
Yeah, you get in the characters and kind of improv around the dialogue to get to the point, and it worked out like really well.
Yeah, I mean,
in that sense.
Yeah, the combination of the way it was filmed, not really having blocking, just letting
and no
Blake
lights.
and Caleb.
Like there was no lights set
We didn't
up.
have
It
any
was all
lights,
natural lighting and everything, just to keep it like.
Yeah. Another thing we're asked about quite a bit, particularly in the tweets, is the editing, the style of it itself. This isn't a film that works chronologically, that you kind of get straight beginning to end. It kind of jumps around different scenes. The style was kind of meant to be something where the audience themselves can piece together the story in different ways. So there's kind of things that make more sense the more you watch the film if you have more than one viewing.
Yeah.
Also kind of just a way to keep the audience on their toes, giving them kind of ways to kind of take these different puzzle pieces and connect them.
And hopefully not be as bored watching the whole thing and be more entertained.
Yeah.
Hopefully that was the goal.
Yeah.
So
we watched Memento many times.
So many times.
And it was weird because we were constantly walking this line between, we want this film to feel real. We didn't want like this to be something. We wanted it to be like if people were watching a bar scene, they would feel as if they were actually in a bar. Not that the sound is crystal clear and perfect like you see in the films. Like in other films, whenever they film it in restaurants or bars, the extras have to act like they're silent and just like pretend that they're talking. We wanted it to be like, okay, it's hard to hear what he's saying, but if I was his friend listening to him, that's exactly the situation I would be in.
No, you do look a lot like a lumberjack in that shirt. Maybe that's the problem?
I don't think that's a problem. Girls actually like lumberjacks.
Problem is that it was just
Yeah.
it was a delicate line between how real we make it to where you feel like this is a real thing you're immersed in
And how hard
versus
it is to actually hear
yeah.
the dialogue.
and as a
the
viewer, how
scenes.
distracting that can be
Yeah.
sometimes. Kind of what's been so great about it, even more than all the success of it, has been the great experience of the people we worked with the film. It was
Very good.
really cool cast. People were just on. The characters worked. The crew was incredible. You know, I mean, you're talking with Nick right now, but probably if anyone who's seen the film, someone who stands out, of course, is Amanda London. Very talented.
Incredible.
I mean, like, are these feelings I'm having for him even real? Are they even real? Or maybe we're gonna end up, like, having this great happy life together, but I just...
So I'm on funnyordie.com. See a video of her. She was very funny and cute and like weird humor that I guess we kind of enjoy
Totally.
a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm like, of course, the next thing I think of is she on Facebook. She is. Add her as a friend. She accepts. And then I'm like, I should ask her when it came to that time if she wants to be in the movie. Send her an email. She requests a script and then agrees to do the project, flying to Arkansas.
Yeah, she liked the story a lot. Amanda was so much fun to work with.
Yeah.
I mean, really, yeah, just so cool. And
Yeah, our personalities got along so well.
Yeah.
So it was,
You need someone like him, someone that wants you to be happy and do what you want to do instead of telling you what to do.
Jennifer Jones plays Samantha, which is her best friend. Meredith's best friend in the movie. I've known her for a couple years. She moved out to LA to pursue acting. She went to the U of A with me, and I called her up, and of course she was just happy to help me out in any way, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And I wrote it kind of for her personality, very funny, and kind of just fits her.
Yeah.
She did an awesome job. I'm getting your spoon too.
No,
this is good. You sure?
Yep, it's good. Me, how I got involved in the film is Nick and I have been close friends since junior high, since we were pretty young. And, it's kind of like, I think a lot of kids when they're young kind of just make stupid videos to be funny and watch it, and maybe only their close group of friends or just them find it funny.
Angel, wait!
What is the time?
The time is 2:30.
2 and the 30?
No, my 2:30.
Oh!
Nick and I started to do that in junior high and high school and just never stopped.
Made plenty of stupid videos.
And we still do. It's
all the time. It's
awesome.
it's fun.
He invited me to kind of be in the film and be one of his characters playing his close friend, and I was, of course, more than happy to do it. So.
And very helpful.
Well, thanks.
Maybe too helpful. Your character's kind of just almost you to a T, you know?
Yeah, exactly who I am.
Just the flamboyant clothing choices.
Flamboyant clothing, really arrogant,
Very arrogant.
very, I guess, just nonsensical in how he behaves. and
Yeah,
things
just
he
almost
does.
like an imbecile.
That's me.
How am I gonna write Ted apart? And I'm like, I'll just make
I'll
it
just
Ted.
do it exactly as Ted.
Yes.
Basically, someone that is your friend just kind of because you feel so bad for him.
You should tell him that you asked if he was a rapist. He'll think that's funny.
The guy who's shirtless all the time.
Oh,
the good-looking,
the
very
good-looking
bronze
shirtless guy.
young man.
No, that is Tyler Scoville.
Tyler Scoville,
Yeah,
okay.
we know him from
Yeah, I know him.
from high school. Junior high. Kind of.
I knew him
for a
when I
long time.
moved to Arkansas. So
Yeah, and,
fifth, sixth grade.
Kind of just had to put him in the movie,
You had to, man.
and you had to put him shirtless in the movie. Is kind of the
it
big
just
thing.
felt right. I don't
And
know
what
why.
effect did he have shirtless? Like when we were filming, you know?
It's like, it's funny because even in the scenes where we had really good actors and the chemistry
Yeah.
was going well, when you look at the cast and crew and extras, sometimes they'd be focusing, sometimes they'd be moving around. When Tyler had his shirt off, everyone stops and just turns their head
It's like
and
you have to look.
focuses.
You have to look at him. So many takes, because it was so distracting for everyone else. He was on freaking spot the whole time.
He was. It was, yeah.
Oh,
It's funny too that like he didn't want to have his shirt off too for these.
No,
things,
he
did
did not want to.
I remember
at
him
all.
saying a couple times like, "Why are you always making me take off my shirt?"
And we're like, that's what the people will want, and what's what they want.
And from the emails, that's what like that might honestly. I think that might be the question I get the most.
That,
It's like this guy with his shirt off. Like what? Like just people want to know about him.
yeah. Yeah, Blake Elder
Blake Elder.
and Caleb Fanning were the cinematographers, shooting with the cameras, and they've been doing that for a while. So, yeah, it was very easy to work with,
Yeah.
and we all kind of knew what we were doing.
Yeah, the intuition that they had for filming was really fun. Kind of guys that you could just say, "Here's how we're thinking of shooting this thing." You give it over to them, and they just deliver. It was really great. Fun guys too, not hard or difficult at all. We were talking once. I kind of joked around with them that they're kind of the offensive line of the film, the type that
And that's a football reference.
yeah.
And then Blake actually helped me with editing it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And Caleb was just also just brought a great sense of humor.
so incredible.
It's incredible. That's incredible.
Okay, so the film is very autobiographical. On my part, I guess a lot of first-time filmmakers choose to do that in some way, and this was kind of like very much just me in the story, especially the 5 dates part. Is I actually dated a girl, and she announced to me on the 5th date that and this was hidden up until then. So very much of the story is kind of our dates and interaction, of course.
And you shared with me that kind of the process of writing it and filming it was kind of a cathartic
Yeah,
kind
so
of
it was,
process to work through and make
it was very
sense out
helpful
of
to
about what
deal with
happens.
everything by writing a story about it. Films that have influenced this movie. Gosh, the only ones really I can think of when I was writing it, 500 Days of Summer for the out of kind of sequence style, and then Blue Valentine, but just not as, I guess, dramatic, for kind of a intimate, like, relational type feel. We're
Yeah.
centered on 2 characters, kind of. So, just a very amateur attempt at that,
That turned into a home run.
turned into a grand slam home run.
How do we have so many millions of fans?
So many, like, millions of fans.
Like millions.
It's incredible.
Like how many Facebook fans do we have for this?
It's 2.7 million Facebook. I guess they
4 or 5
liked
days.
they liked it. I guess is the thing that you do.
A lot of comments that we get, and it's pretty obvious that 2 other films that inspired that were inspirational and kind of we borrowed from were Requiem for a Dream and The Air Up There.
Yeah,
Starring
The Air Up There was
Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, very influential.
Yeah, I mean, we almost had to be too careful we didn't borrow too much.
I don't want people saying like
It was
this is
just
exactly
copying
the
The
plot
Air Up
of
There
The Air Up There,
mixed with Requiem for a Dream.
mixed with a lot of Requiem. Another question, which is probably the question we get the most, is about chemistry
That's probably the question I get.
between the 2 romantic leads in a movie. Do they find this romance outside of the movie? And it's obviously pertaining between me and Amanda. So I guess right now is a good time to kiss you goodnight? No?
Yeah.
Okay. And we'll answer that with, we got along very well. Our personalities meshed.
As a, I guess, outside observer, whenever the film was going on, it did seem like, in the romance scenes, you guys really represented things, pulling in some, real emotion into it, and it seemed very authentic and real, and you guys really did connect. So while we were filming, there were some interesting challenges that presented themselves. In Northwest Arkansas, I don't know if it's the way in the rest of the South when that just happens, but there's a certain time of the year whenever locusts come and congregate together for mating season.
So many.
So many locusts. And for people that aren't familiar with locusts, they make this high-pitched buzzing sound.
They're like big flies,
If
right?
you have one locust in your yard, just one, you can hear it. It's like a just like that. Imagine mating season of these locusts in this area.
Which happens what?
Okay, well, every year the locusts meet at a certain time of the year for mating season, but there's cycles where every 7th year the locusts congregate about 5 or 6 times larger than their usual swarm. For some reason, we didn't know this, but when we filmed the movie, and a lot of scenes are filmed outside, it landed on that 7th year of cycle when the locusts were doing that. So sometimes in the film, if you notice,
The scenes on campus.
particularly the scenes on campus, there's this.
That's cool.
That's a big deal. I mean, this is your name carved into stone, and it's going to be there forever.
Forever. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's a huge deal.
I hope this was a nice little insight into the movie and us and how it was made and all of that. And I hope you, I don't know, buy it and enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, just
Yeah, that's
this
all.
thing was made for hopefully people to just enjoy, to be
Enjoy it.
entertained. Yeah, and if you have any more questions or anything like that, actually don't send
No,
it to
don't.
us. We've been bombarded with a lot of questions.
The question we get the most is, can we ask you
Ask you
a
a
question?
question.
And no,
No, it's just a little much.
like a bird.
Thank you so much.
Godspeed.